This section talks about stories and how they're important, and they become the thread that glues the whole agile development process together.
Stories are the language that convey product ideas in agile development. They are a concise yet expressive way to communicate. A story is composed of 4 parts: a customer, need, value, and solution. So the first part is customer. So what specific personas are targeted in the product? And an example of this is parents with elementary school children. The second dimension is need. What problems do we want to solve in the minimum viable product? An example of this is parents have difficulty finding other children with similar interests. Value. What benefit does the minimum viable product deliver? And this is a reciprocal of the need, but it's in a little different perspective. An example is to help find other children with similar interests. And last, solution. How does the product solve a customer need? An example of this is a database that is used to match kids with similar interests. So that's a specific way that we're going to solve a problem for a customer. User stories in agile development are typically composed of 3 parts. First, what type of user or persona is the functionality used for? Second, a sentence or 2 to describe the functionality. This is what most people use to describe a requirement. And third, what is the benefit for this user from this functionality? This can be described as a positive benefit or help with the problem that a user has. This is the most neglected part of user stories, but information conveyed is powerful. It's an easy way to significantly increase the feature understanding and carry it through the entire product process. The 4 dimensions of a story described earlier map to 3 parts of a typical user story that is used in agile software development. So the customer maps to the first statement that describes who the user is. And second, the solution maps to the second statement that describes user functionality. And third, need and value, which are 2 sides of the same coin, map to the third statement, which describe the user benefit. So we got those 2 who are sort of doubling up and mapping to our third statement in a user story. In an agile development environment, user stories describe the product solutions. Like other agile practices, user stories are a common sense and pragmatic way to capture functionality. It uses everyday language to facilitate a conversation with the team and customers while keeping the focus on the user. They can be decomposed into parent-child or hierarchical user stories. As stories are broken down into finer stories, they come with acceptance criteria that can be used for testing. Themes are a way to organize multiple stories. So how can I start using this? So first I can add the 4 dimensions of user stories into the documentation mix that you have. As your team notices the value of stories, encourage their use, especially with the shorter development periods that we learned about in earlier section.